Oh, hey. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another video. As you guys can tell, we have an absolute mess in this garage. And in today's video, we're not only going to be installing the power steering rack into the E36, finally finishing the build, we're gonna be cleaning this up, just rearranging the entire garage because this has happened because I decided to own a BMW. So, without further ado, guys, we're gonna move all of these parts from on the ground into our brand new steering rack and we're gonna get this installed. Let's do it. So we've just gotten all the parts back onto the brand new steering rack, so now we're gonna install it. Let's hope everything goes to plan. Well, just saying. So while I'm working on it, I thought I'd give you guys a good little example of what I get to see while I'm working on it. So, to start off, you have two main bolts. This one, which I've already installed, and this one, which is the exact same thing as this, just on the other side. And that would be this bolt right here. You got bolt and nut. The bolt is a 15, the nut is a 16. Don't ask me why, that's just how it is in this car. Not sure if that's standard or if this one, once again, has been tampered with, but that's how it is. Next, what we're gonna do is we have some pretty important parts right here. So, we need to connect this, which goes all the way up to the steering wheel, to this, which is connected to our steering rack. Then, after we've got that done, we need to connect this hose right here to this port right here, just exactly like we did with this one. And the final part is taking this hose and connecting it back up to the reservoir and then filling it with power steering fluid and connecting these two things together once again to make a happy family, and then we should be all good. So it turns out that the steering rack will not fit. The lines are at a different angle from the original lines and it continuously hits the subframe, and there's really nothing I can do except for get a new steering rack. It's unfortunate, but it comes with the title. And we are back. We are officially heading to the junkyard right now. It's about a few days after that last clip because now it's the weekend and now I can go check out the parts. So we have an hour and a half drive ahead of us. So not the most exciting thing ever, but it might be worth it for extremely cheap parts, quality parts, and something that'll actually fit in the E36. So anyway, guys, let's make our way to the junkyard and let's see what we can find. All right, everybody, we have just made it to the junkyard. Very excited. I do have to say one thing before we go in. Hopefully I don't die. The drive here to this junkyard is probably one of the most beautiful drives I have ever been on. So if this goes well, I'm gonna be coming back here just to drive, honestly. Okay, so we are officially walking through the junkyard right now. It is a sea of slaughtered vehicles and honestly, kind of cool looking. We have our parts list. There are 2 available and hopefully one of them will work for us. I mean, it's pretty much exactly what I expected, but holy shit, I don't think I've ever been to like a real junkyard before. Maybe we find our next project car here. I'm not 100% sure, but I was walking through the junkyard and I think this might be a Toyota E36. I'm not sure, but this thing looks incredible. I mean, aside from the damage, but like, damn. Junkyard find. Found another one. We got a Nissan 300ZX. I don't think I've ever seen one of these before, but this thing looks sick. I mean, big fan. It's got those like slight pop-up headlights and such. Damn, crazy. Ooh, we got an SN95 Mustang right here. Honestly, probably one of my favorite Mustang body styles, aside from whichever one was in 2005. This thing looks pretty dope. So although it took me so much longer than I thought it would to find this car in this giant pile of cars, we found it. Now, isn't this thing beautiful? It's really only missing a few things. Oh, look at that. This steering rack, I found it. You know, unfortunately, I was told that the steering rack would be in the car, but it does look like it's still connected with a few bolts. So I'll have to, unfortunately, walk back up there and get their help. But it doesn't look like it's in bad condition. I mean, all things said, a little bit of rust and such. I can take that off, replace that with the E36 ones. Work with this, probably same on this side. Honestly, check the boots. That's a little rusty, but I think we could probably clean that off, honestly. We'll have to take a better look once we get it out of the car. You know, honestly, I bet a long time ago, this would have been a sick fucking car to drive. Damn. Too bad it's fucked up now. So as I'm searching, right, I found something that might, I can't get it, I can't afford it. But I think I just found a BMW E30 in the yard. It unfortunately is behind a fence, so I can't check it out. But from my conclusion, that's looking an awful lot like an E30. Holy shit, that is so sick. So after checking out the part a lot more, it looks mint. I asked them why the car was in the junkyard, and they mentioned that the car had rear end damage, which walking around the car, pretty obvious. Hit pretty hard in the back. But that's kind of good news for me, because anything front end related kind of worries me about buying a steering rack when I need it to be able to drive straight. But rear end damage, okay, cool. And the rack is much cheaper than buying a refurbished one, so any way we can save money is pretty much the way that we're gonna have to go. So once we pay, we're solid. We're putting that bitch in the E36. She will drive once again. There's so many cool cars here. Honestly, it's sad. E30 shells, old Mustangs, M Beamers. Pretty sad to see, honestly. But one day when I have a lot more money, I can come to the junkyard and spend more money. So let's see how it goes, guys. Let's get our part. Let's go home. We're pretty far away. And here it is in all of its glory. Outer tie rods, absolutely fucked. Nice of them to put these in. Gonna have to clean off this rust just a little bit, but aside from hosing it down, it looks great. I'm so excited. And now that we have acquired our Z3, I actually have all the paperwork here. Honestly, it's a 2000 Z3. It was hit in the back. Engine's fine, everything in the front was fine. People are taking apart the front and buying it for their own Z3s. What a perfect find. Honestly, I mean, I say that now, and we're gonna cut to the part of the video where I'm crying in the corner of my garage because it doesn't work. But I cannot be more happy. It cost me $130, which a refurbished 328i one is about $340. So, you know, it's like, you know, a quarter of the price, a third of the price. I'm so excited. We have an hour-and-a-half drive, so we have a lot way to go, and then we're done. We're gonna fit into the car. We're gonna hopefully, pray with me, we're gonna get the car rolling. We're gonna get it running. It's gonna work. We're gonna drive that bitch. We're gonna clean the garage. I have so much work to do in that garage. It is disgusting. It is a mess because of this car that I love so much. Anyway, guys, let's make our drive back home, eat, because it's 11 and I'm starving. So the bulk continues. If anyone was wondering about fitness content, bulk continues. I'm 192. I'm a big boy. But yeah, so we're gonna head home, and we're fucking done so far. We'll see how it goes. Peace. We are back in the garage. All we're working on now, we have the new rack here. This is the old one. I mean, look pretty similar. Pretty excited. We're just working on getting these outer tie rods off, and then we're gonna test fit it before we clean it to make sure it works. It is now several days later, but we're ready to go. So after a slightly difficult process, I was able to get the old inner and outer tie rods from the old steering rack over there. We got them on here. What's left is I'm going to zip tie these boots. I'm going to clean this off, and I have test fitted it, and I do know that it works. So we're gonna make it pretty, and we're gonna finish up this car. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. I got a new power tool. I'm gonna use it. Let's get this job done. Oh, I don't even know what size this shit is. I'm gonna use a wrench. I'm gonna hold the top nut and I'm gonna screw it in the bottom. That's how we do it.
Why did you go?
And after all those trials and tribulations, we did it. Wheels are back on the car. There's one last thing that we need to do, which is twist the nut on the inner tie rod to kind of adjust the tire angle at which it's at. So obviously you don't want them both facing outwards, because when you start driving, since it's a rear wheel drive car, it's gonna like push the tires, and same if they're both inside, which is really bad for your tires and kind of just bad overall. So what you want to do is I'm going to tighten them until they're pretty much as straight as I can get them. And honestly, like, I'm going to need an alignment no matter what. So my goal realistically is to get them as close as I can get them. It doesn't have to be the 0.001%. I have an alignment shop like 3 miles away. So honestly, we're going to get it as close as we can tonight. We're going to get it straight. And honestly, I'm so excited. Unfortunately, this is literally, I kid you guys not, it has literally been a month and a half, 2 months in the making of one of the most simple jobs ever. And we're gonna get to that later on in the video. But this job really isn't that hard if you do it right and you don't try and do it the cheapest way possible. And in a weird way, me trying to be cheap actually cost me more, in the sense of, at the end of the day, this steering rack that I took off a Junkyard Z3 actually costs less than the E36 Z3 racks I was buying off eBay. So that's on me, that's absolutely my fault. And that goes to show you can't always trust what you see on the internet. But everything is bolted up, everything is tied together. I am exhausted. Honestly, guys, I didn't show all of it because I had to lock in. I really did. I had to lock the fuck in, play some tunes, and we got this shit done. I don't know what time it is. I'm pretty dirty. I just washed my hands so I can talk to you guys, because I love you guys. But yeah, we got one last part to do. I'm gonna put this bitch on the ground for the first time in honestly months, which is really exciting to me. It is officially the next day. This thing is getting ready to go on the road. I'm so excited. There's one thing we need to do, which is start the car, turn the steering wheel a few times just to get the fluid moving around, and we should be good to drop the car. Okay, it is officially the moment of truth. We're gonna see if the car starts, we're gonna see if the tires turn, we're gonna see if I did everything correct, and if we did, we gotta work in BMW. So, super excited, let's check it out. Nope, I didn't do it right. Okay, so interesting fact. My battery is shot. Absolutely, it is dead. It is not coming back to life. I have a jumper pack on it. It's not working. But here's some good news. Turns out that this battery is from 2020 and it's not doing so hot. So honestly, it's probably for the best that this thing gets replaced anyway. So let's get to the morning where I finally get a new battery and we get the car running. We might be in luck, y'all. We might be in freaking luck. I don't see any tools under there. Y'all see anything? No? Okay, cool. So here's everything that we've done. I checked the ground cable, which connects into one of the motor mount supports that I did change. I noticed that the wire was a little bit loose. That's on me, but it didn't fix my problem. I then, in constant fashion, did not tighten the terminals to the batteries tight enough. Now, if I'm being completely honest, I did that on purpose because in case I had to change out the battery or do something else, I didn't want it tight. I did not realize that was going to be one of the issues that caused the car not to start. But as you guys saw, we got it started, kinda. It's really low on fuel, so what we're gonna do, we leveled it out, everything's checked. Power steering fluid has been swished through the system, which is great news, no leaks so far. The car is down, and honestly, looking at it, I forgot how low this car was. It's been so long since it's been like below like chest height for me. So it's exciting to see this, but since we're on low fuel, we flattened out the car, got it off its jacks and everything, flattened out the car so that hopefully the fluid, the gas, is able to get through the system easier. So let's find out. Guys, it is a glorious fucking day in the neighborhood. It's running. Holy shit, it would not start. It, obviously, you guys have been watching the video up to this point, it would not start. I've done so many things to it tonight. I got it to start. It was cranking and it was running, but it wouldn't stay idle. It would just crash. So I was trying to burn through some of the gas, get the gas flowing, like giving a little bit of gas, holding it at a steady RPM. And I did that for like probably 15 minutes and it just kept dropping and it would shut off the car would stall out, whatever. All we gotta do is get some gas in it, which is a new token, a new thing we gotta do. Get some gas in it, and then we get it aligned, and we're fucking golden. I'm so excited. I made a mistake, which was the reason my car literally stalled in front of my house. The excitement died so fast, I could feel my soul going with it. Anyway, guys, here, pay attention. Here's what I forgot to do, because I'm a little not all the way there. So there's this super duper important part that you guys might not be able to see, but this little hose right here, which connects into this boot, which connects all the way through there and into there, is called the idle control valve sensor thingy-mabob. I forgot to put that back in. I noticed that this boot had a hole in the bottom for it, but I promise you, when I took the old boot out, there was not something that I took out of it to get to this point. Now, the truth that I'm going with is I probably fucked it up because when I was jacking up the engine to put the new motor mounts and new motor mount supports in, I probably jacked it just to high enough to where it popped out. And that's probably where the problem came from, because I did not take that hose out of there. I promise. I fucking promise. But after lots of hours and literal months of working on this car, it's running. I'm excited. I'm tired though. I'm really tired. I'm just happy to see this car running. I just took it for a test drive, drove about like half a mile. Still have to get an alignment for it. Going to get new gas, put some seafoam in the gas tank. Everything is working as it should be. I could not be more happy right now. A little bit less happy than I was earlier in the video, but that is because I'm just tired at this point. But without further ado, guys, let's kick it on to, honestly, probably a few days from now. But let's talk about everything that we did to this car, why we did it, why it took us so fucking long to get to this point, and I don't know, we'll figure out. I'll see you guys later. Peace. After lots of time and lots of waiting, we did it. My car is finally fixed. I can drive it. It's not technically road legal yet, so that's something that I need to get to in the future, but alignment came through. It was fucked. Obviously, I mean, I did it myself with my eyes and the tools that I have in my garage. The alignment was about 3 degrees off, and the funny part is the technician mentioned to me that, like, yeah, 1/4 of a degree is kind of bad, and I was 3 degrees off, so that is 12/4 degree. That's a lot. That was pretty bad. Essentially, this tire was kind of cocked in just a little bit. You know, I used my eyes. I wear glasses. It's not that great. There's nothing I can do about it. But it was awesome to drive this car with an alignment. I got gas. I put some seafoam in the tank. Everything should be running great. This car is honestly just such an amazing car to own and drive, and I'm so lucky that I can do that. Aside from, I mean, it's missing a little bit, but it's okay. We're gonna get it all fixed out. So, the main topic, why did it take me so long to do this? Well, I'm an unexperienced mechanic. This is my first time doing a project this big, and it was so much fun. I've learned literally so much about this car specifically throughout this entire process, and it was crazy. Lots of just upsetting moments, things that took way too long. I struggled to get the inner tire rods out of the old rack so that I could put them into the new rack. That took out so much time. Honestly, it's also my fault too. I kept buying steering racks that, you know, they say they're for an E36, 328i, fit all these models, and then they don't. And that was one of the things that kept setting us back so much. Was I bought one rack, I got it, I tried to fit it, which actually my last video, that's the rack that I try to fit, which I don't have the tools, you know? And that's another thing that it came down to, tools. I didn't have all the tools that I needed. I mean, I didn't need to buy some of the tools that I did end up buying, but it made the job faster. I bought a new little 1/4-inch impact, and I have a 1/2-inch impact that I used to take off the tires. Honestly, impact like tools are amazing, and obviously they make quick work of any issues that I was having. But it really came down to buying parts online. It's really tough to say like what you're gonna get. I bought a steering rack, tried to install it, it didn't fit. I sent it back, got a refund, bought another steering rack, actually got the exact same steering rack model back. And I looked and I checked out the 2 eBay pages, and they were based in the exact same town. So I was like, oh, crazy how that works. So that's why I ended up going to a Junkyard to try and find a Z3 rack, which actually worked out great. I was very surprised. You know, I was kind of nervous because, you know, you go to a junkyard, you don't know what to expect. You're either gonna find gold or you're gonna find dirt. And I happened to find gold because they had 2 Z3s that were there. And the one that I went to was a rear end collision, which is great for me because I don't give a fuck about the rear end. I needed the fucking steering rack. So good news for me. That helped out a lot. And so I took the steering rack, and the thing is, I took only the steering rack. I mean, they gave me the banjo bolts and everything that kind of like accompanied it with, like, you know, the banjo bolts and some washers. Great. Kind of useless, but I ended up using them anyway just because they were the bolts that came with the car. Makes sense. And then it's all like small minor issues from there. I mean, the issue that I had with the motor mount, I bought a motor mount, looked just like the one that I used to have in this car. And it turns out they were the exact same motor mounts, but the threads were different. So I had an M10 1.5 thread, which is the one that came in this car. I bought an M10 1.25 thread, which I didn't know there was a difference really. I mean, they look the same. They're literally 0.25 millimeters off. That's not a lot of space for error. So when I installed them, the old nuts didn't fit, which just led to more issues. I thought I was doing something wrong. I was using the wrong hardware. So then after a couple days, I got the new hardware, got those installed, was so happy about that. But those were really the issues I was facing. I kept getting the wrong steering rack, or I mean, that's on me. It's not on the company. They said it fits an E36. It might. It didn't fit this one, but it might fit someone's out there. The Junkyard is now my best friend, and if I need anything for this bad boy, I'm gonna be searching there first. This E36 was honestly a dream car for me, and I got it. And although it's not perfect, it's working great. And I'm so excited to see where we get to it in the future. But that's really all I've got, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching the videos, liking the YouTube shorts. I know this video took literally forever to come out, but it literally took forever to fix it. And without the help of some of my friends, I would not have been able to fix it. I mean, I don't have the know-how, but I now have the know-how, if you know what I'm saying. It's great to have friends who can help you work on cars, and it's great when they know what they're doing and you get to do the work, but they explain it. It's helped out a lot. Right now, we're gonna end our video with this. If you guys wanna get shit done, you kinda gotta do it yourself, or you gotta pay a bag for it. And now I'm not gonna lie, I didn't spend the smallest amount of money in the world getting this car fixed up, but I didn't spend a lot. I mean, honestly, if I wanted to, this whole list right here, everything you see, this is what it cost me. And it's not that bad, especially when you think I got the car for $4,500, 110,000 miles. Everything is stock. It's got BC Racing coilovers on it that need to be adjusted. Oh my God, they are so off. I saved a lot of money. I could have saved a lot of time, but this isn't a time required car. I didn't need it. I have this thing, and this thing, I fucking love this car, but I like this one more. That one's a manual though, so kind of got to figure out fight my demons there. But anyway, guys, we're gonna clean our garage. We're gonna get back to another video. Hopefully it doesn't take a month and a half to release this one, but you never know. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, like always, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.